In 1967, deep in the jungles of central Vietnam, an American patrol unit discovered something strange. Not a bunker, not a weapons cache, but ponds, completely covered in green. In his report to the CIA, the American officer wrote, "They eat the green water scum and somehow don't starve." The question that haunted U.S. intelligence for 10 years. How could they survive on nothing but green water scum? 50 years later, the CIA declassified these documents. It turned out, this green scum wasn't a military secret. It was a survival food of Southeast Asian civilization, stretching back 3,000 years. A plant smaller than a grain of salt. No roots, no stem, more protein than beef. But there's a problem no one wants to tell you about, until now. And I'll prove all of this in the next 13 minutes. Don't worry, I'll reveal that problem. But first, you need to understand the full story. By the end of this video, you'll understand why NASA spent $2 million researching this plant for the mission to Mars, while the people of Laos have been eating it for 3,000 years without spending a dime. The story behind this green water scum will change how you think about survival food. You'll discover the nutritional secret that the CIA couldn't explain. How a green dot smaller than a grain of salt contains more protein than beef, more omega-3 than salmon, and is the only land plant with natural vitamin B12. You'll learn how to identify it safely, distinguishing it from toxic algae in just 3 seconds. And you'll master the ancient Thai preparation technique, a soup that King Rama V served at royal banquets, that you can make at home in just 5 minutes. And most importantly, you'll learn how to grow the laziest protein garden in human history. Drop a handful into a tub of water. Wait 7 days. Harvest forever. No watering. No fertilizing. No maintenance. But first, let me take you back to 1967, where the CIA began this classified file. Quang Tri Province, Central Vietnam. Sergeant William Hendricks, U.S. Special Reconnaissance Unit, was observing a group of Viet Cong soldiers from a distance. They weren't hunting. They weren't digging for tubers. They were scooping something from a pond. Hendricks wrote in his report, "They eat the green water scum and somehow don't starve. No rice, no meat, just that." The CIA asked, was this a military ration we didn't know about? They analyzed samples. The results were shocking. 42% dry protein. More than beef, more than soybeans. The U.S. Army needed millions of dollars worth of packaged rations. Their enemy? Just scooped green scum from ponds. But the more important story had begun 3,000 years earlier. 1000 BC, the Mekong River Valley, ancient kingdom of Laos. A rain ceremony. The people didn't offer rice, they didn't offer meat. They offered kai nam, water eggs, what we call duckweed. An ancient Khmer stone inscription records, Buddha said blessings come from the smallest things. They believed this plant, smaller than a grain of salt, brought eternal life. Not mythology, science, complete protein, natural vitamin B12, omega-3, all in one green dot. Nearly 2,000 years later, 1988, NASA, Project CELS, Controlled Ecological Life Support System, mission, find food for astronauts on Mars. After hundreds of candidates, they chose duckweed. Why? It multiplies faster than any plant on Earth, needs no soil, just water and light. The smallest plant, but the most efficient. 3,000 years. From sacred offerings to Vietnam battlefields to Mars. And right now, while NASA dreams of the future, this plant is being poisoned en masse by American farmers. So what makes it both treasure and enemy? Let me show you the science behind it. Now, let's talk about the science. Why does a green dot smaller than a grain of salt contain more protein than beef? The answer lies in something most plants can't achieve. 99% of its body is surface area. Most plants have stems, roots, bark, parts that don't photosynthesize, they're just structure. But duckweed? Its entire body is one giant photosynthetic cell. Every green dot is a tiny protein factory. And according to USDA Food Data Central, dry protein reaches 43%. Let's compare it to the food you eat every day. Beef, 26% protein. Soybeans, 36%. Duckweed, 43%. It beats both. And unlike meat, it's complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own. Now the truly strange part. In 2014, Japanese scientists discovered something no one thought possible: natural vitamin B12 in a plant. This is biologically impossible because B12 is only produced by bacteria, not plants. Why is duckweed the exception? Because it lives in water, an environment rich in bacteria. These bacteria produce B12, and duckweed absorbs it directly into its cells. For vegans, this may be the only plant source of B12 that doesn't require fermentation. And omega-3? Salmon famously contains about 2.5%. Research from Wageningen University, 15 years of study, documents that duckweed contains up to 8% omega-3 in ALA form, more than triple, not from fish, from direct photosynthesis. This is why NASA chose it for the Mars mission. 1 square meter of duckweed pond can produce 10 to 15 tons of protein per year. The same area planted with soybeans, just 1 ton. More than 10 times the yield. No machinery needed. No industrial fertilizer. Just water and light. This is why the ancients treasured it, and why you need to know how to identify it. This is the most important part. And this is the problem I promised to tell you about. Duckweed is absolutely safe if you know how to distinguish it from what looks like it. And that's not another plant species. It's something far more dangerous. First, size. Wolffia, the smallest species, is only 0.6 to 1.5 millimeters, smaller than a grain of salt. Lemna, the more common type, 2 to 4 millimeters, the size of a peppercorn. They float individually on the water surface. Each dot, each particle, not clumped together in a film. Color: pure leaf green, bright, fresh, like the color of freshly picked greens. No blue tint, no brown tint. Smooth surface, slightly waxy, not slimy, not sticky. Lemna has 1 thin root, white or light brown, 1 to 2 centimeters long. Wolffia has no roots. None at all. Flowers? You'll almost never see them. Wolffia has the world's smallest flower, 0.3 millimeters, with no petals. Duckweed reproduces by budding, creating a new generation every 48 hours. Habitat: still ponds, small lakes, slow-moving streams. Clear water, adequate light, warm temperature. Now, critical warning. What you must never mistake it for: cyanobacteria, toxic algae, or blue-green algae. From a distance, it looks like duckweed, but up close, blue-green, not leaf-green. Forms foam, smells foul like rotten water, sticky like paint, and toxic, very toxic. Second, polluted water. Duckweed absorbs heavy metals like a sponge: lead, cadmium, mercury. Simple test: if the pond has dead animals, floating oil, chemical smell, do not eat. Only harvest from clean, clear water with healthy living fish. Wash 3 times. And remember, it's perfectly safe as long as you know its source. Now for the part you've been waiting for. I said there's a problem no one wants to mention. Here it is. Fresh duckweed is bitter, very bitter. Like eating wild lettuce mixed with liver tonic. But over 3,000 years, Southeast Asians discovered 3 ways to transform it into perfect food. Method 1, Kai Nam, which literally means water eggs in Lao, the 5-minute soup that's fed generations. First secret: soak duckweed in water with 1 tablespoon of lime juice for 30 minutes. The acid breaks down bitter compounds, reducing bitterness by 80%. Then, strain and rinse clean. Boil 2 cups of water, add duckweed, beat in 1 duck egg, add fish sauce and herbs. Cook 2 minutes, done. Tastes like spinach but richer. Double the protein. And this was King Rama V's daily meal. Method 2, Dutch technology. Protein powder. Harvest duckweed, wash 3 times with diluted salt water to remove insects. Dry at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, about 60 Celsius, preserving protein and vitamins. Grind into fine dark green powder. 1 tablespoon, 6 grams of complete protein. Mix into smoothies. Blend into bread flour, replacing 10% of wheat flour. Or capsules, natural B12 source for vegans. NASA is researching this. You can make it in your kitchen. Method 3. Traditional livestock feed. The Chinese have fed ducks with fresh duckweed for over 1,000 years. No processing needed. Scoop it out, feed ducks directly. Ducks gain 30% more weight than with standard feed. Tilapia, chickens, rabbits, all can eat it. And this is why the ancients grew it. Not to eat themselves, but to feed what they ate. Principles to remember. 1. Always wash 3 times. 2. Lime soak if eating fresh, or cook to reduce bitterness. 3. Clean source is everything. If you're not sure which pond is clean, grow your own. And that's exactly what I'll show you next. How to create the laziest protein garden in history with just a tub of water and 7 days. There's a saying passed down among Laotian duckweed growers for 3,000 years. The problem isn't making it grow. The problem is making it stop growing. This isn't a joke. It's a warning disguised as a promise. This is the laziest farming method in human history. No watering needed, it lives in water. No fertilizing needed, rainwater is enough. No weeding needed, it covers the water surface, weeds can't grow. No replanting needed, it multiplies faster than any plant on earth. You only need to do one thing. Harvest. How to grow. Get a 50-liter plastic tub. Pour in rainwater or well water. Add 1 tablespoon of dissolved chicken manure. Drop in a handful of duckweed, about 10% of the surface. Place in sunlight. That's it. 7 days later, you can harvest ½ kilogram. 14 days, 1 kilogram. Every week, scoop out 70%. What remains? It reproduces itself endlessly. But hear this warning. Duckweed has a terrifying ability. It can kill an entire pond of fish in 1 week, cover 100% of the water surface, block sunlight, block oxygen, fish float belly up. American farmers call it the green plague. The solution? 3 iron rules. 1. Grow in isolated containers, never release into natural ponds. 2. Harvest 70% weekly, don't let it reach 100% coverage. 3. If you have a pond, add 3 ducks. They eat 2 kilograms of duckweed daily, work 24/7, and you get bonus eggs. Control it, and you have protein forever. Let it control you, and you have ecological disaster. In the plant world, there are cousins with strangely opposite fates. One species treasured for 3,000 years in Southeast Asia, but considered plague in the West. And ancient Laotians understood something we're just beginning to remember. True value doesn't lie in size. It lies in efficiency. Now you know. The smallest plant on Earth contains more protein than beef. NASA spent $2 million researching it for the Mars mission. Viet Cong soldiers survived on it during war. And you can grow a protein garden forever with just a tub of water. This knowledge now belongs to you. But the journey isn't over. Because duckweed has a relative that makes it look ordinary by comparison. More ancient, more powerful. And it once did something no other organism on Earth can replicate. Sometime around 50 million years ago, this plant covered the Arctic Ocean. It absorbed carbon from the air so rapidly it froze the entire planet in just a few hundred years. Vietnamese call it water fern, living fertilizer. It can create nitrogen from air, feed rice without industrial fertilizer. And its story is the story of the tiniest organism changing global climate. Next video, the fern that froze Earth. Follow Roots of Legend so you don't miss it, because the Earth conceals what we need most to find.